Welcome to our introductory video. I am Mansler, a holistic nutritionist here in Toronto, specializing in energy management, adrenal fatigue, leaky gut syndrome, and any mood disorders as well.
Michelle Tran, registered holistic nutritionist, specializing in weight loss, weight gain, creating healthy relationships with your body, autoimmune disorders, and just everything in general.
Everything in general.
Everything. Okay,
and we are
Best Friends of Nutrition. It's been a journey coming here, but we're happy to be here, super excited. Lots of things that we're kind of like discovering and learning. So, you know, we're inviting you to come on that journey with us.
To learn and to grow with us and
to be friends. Let's be friends. Yeah. So the purpose of us creating this channel is that we wanted to create a healthy and positive impact on people's relationships with their bodies, and that is kind of the key factor in what's made us successful in terms of just being human beings and being nutritionists, and the way that we're able to make that impact.
We want you guys to watch these videos and see a relatability factor. Maybe there's some things that we're talking about that you're going through as well. And if so, feel free to always message us, reach out to us in the comments on our Instagram, so we'll tell you a little bit about that later.
So let's talk about like why we're here. Who are we? Like, how do I know her?
So Michelle and I worked at Lush Cosmetics back in 2008, where we first became friends. We stayed there for a few years, and well, the reason we started hanging out.
We used to work on Sundays. We started hanging out because our boyfriends at the time did not
Our
want
boyfriends didn't want to hang out with us.
They were the worst. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Shout out to them wherever they are.
But out of that came something really good.
An awesome friendship. And lots of hanging out and lots of eating really good food at the time.
Yes. So that grew. We started seeing each other outside of that. She went to Ryerson. She was going to Ryerson at the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I went to Ryerson University. I studied psychology and sociology. I have my BA, a Bachelor of Arts, because I could not do math.
Science?
Science is not my thing.
No, science is cool. Math?
Science is good.
Math? Numbers? I mean, those letters? Like,
I don't know, solve for A.
they lost me there. Anyway.
So I did my BA in psychology, sociology at Ryerson University. I did the whole thing of, you know, graduating, finding a job, trying to pay off your OSAP, because that's what you do with life, right?
Yeah, you have this idea that like we're supposed to aspire to like dying at a desk. You know what I mean? And like just like living this idea of going to this, you know, little cubicle, you know, earning money, getting a benefits job, all wonderful things. Not to knock anybody that's doing that.
No, but I was living life. I had more money than I had ever seen in my life. I was paying off my OSAP. I had savings. Whoa!
I had savings.
This is a big deal. But I was bored out of my mind.
She just tell me when she left her job. She's like, Michelle, I'm so bored. I'm following rivers on Google Maps. Like, can you imagine how bored you must be? Now, that whatever unhappiness that you've experienced, either with a corporate job, if you can relate to that, it might not manifest like that. It might not be following of rivers.
You have a shitty boss.
Ponds. You could be discovering ponds. But I mean, maybe you're overworked. Maybe you're feeling like underpaid and undervalued, right? So she's like, the heck? I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't want to do this anymore. And not only that, I was experiencing a lot of health problems, a lot of health issues at the time. I was falling asleep at my desk. So that, coupled with just not feeling fulfilled at my job, made me feel like there was a bigger purpose, a greater purpose in my life. And I always knew I wanted to help people from a very young age. So I think, you know, I started to think about what I wanted to do. I still had no idea, but with all of these health issues, I started talking to Michelle about them. One day we went for pho, and I said, you know, I have to show you something.
It was winter, so like she was wearing a jacket, so I didn't see this.
So I said, you know what, I have to show you something, and I lifted up my shirt. My stomach was out here.
Not.
I looked
Two
like
babies looked like they were in there.
I looked like I was having twins.
So if you're looking at her right now, check her out on Instagram. She's got these crazy pole videos. She's got like cheese grater abs.
At Mansler.
So for me to see that as like her having like being so bloated, and I'm like, there's something going on. Like, I don't know. So she started to look into it, became really, really passionately involved, and a lot of things that she would mention that she did for her intestinal health. We ended up learning later in school, but I'm skipping ahead, so we'll tell you that part later.
So I did a lot of my own personal research, hours and hours and hours and hours of looking into what could be going on with my body, and I knew that there was natural health alternatives. I was told to go on antidepressants because that would help my bloating issues, and having my psychology background, I'm not really interested in kind of pharmaceutical ways to treat things to do with your body per se. I knew that there was another way. So through this research, I kind of tested a lot of things. It was a long journey of figuring out what worked for me, figuring out what foods work best for my body, figuring out what supplements and mindset and lifestyle really helped to kind of make me feel like a person again. And when I finally started to get into a routine, I said, this is something that I can do with the rest of my life. This is something I want to help people with. And I started talking to Michelle about it.
So at the time, I was at York. So I first went to Centennial College. Did that for 2 years, general arts and science. And I was there, and I actually enjoyed learning. That's when I was like, yeah, I'm really good at this. I love doing this. Like, things were just making sense. I was connecting to the outside world, learning in different ways, learning and like interacting with different people. Like, that's one of the things that I really love, is connecting with people. And I love connecting with people that are even so far away from like who I would normally associate with. That is super exciting to me. I'm like, what can you teach me? What can you give me? What energy can we exchange together and find a likeness towards each other, which is really cool. So went into that. Then I went to York University because there was a joint program, communications, environmental studies. In my third year, I was just hating it. I was like, what is this? Like, why do I need this? Like, why am I writing this 10-page paper that's going to make me miserable? I'm going to lose sleep. Get super stressed out. For what? This was like, I felt that there was no guarantee to the hard work that I was doing. So that made me pull away. I was going through some of my, like adult anxiety. You know what I mean? Like stress and just like, what are we going to do with myself? I'm gonna buy a house that's $2 million. Like, so like,
But I want avocado toast.
But I want avocado toast.
Can't afford a house if you buy avocados and make avocado toast.
Budget one avocado toast a week. So anyway, so just going through that process, and she knew that I was like trying to figure that out. So I talked to her about it, and she was like, why don't you come to school with me? No, I made a joke actually. I was like, oh, like I just got a scholarship, and she was like, well, like actually why not? And I didn't have an answer for her. I didn't have like a no. So at that point, I was like, okay, well, I'm leaving York.
Bye.
My parents are like, oh no, but you like might need this degree. I'm like, for what? I'm like, for what? I'm gonna waste another year to like wait for another year to do something that I want to do now.
Right now. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going. So we like booked an orientation the next day, went to school, and the rest is history. We went to different campuses. She was at Yonge and Eglinton. I went to the one at Victoria Park and Consumer. But it was great because we had like, exercise buddy. Shout out to Evernote. Sharing our notes.
Shout out to Evernote.
But it was great. Went to school. She was at the Village Juicery at the time, working as an in-store nutritionist, and I was at Good Life. So that's where I fell in love with fitness. Started working out regularly. That became a really big part. But everyone there saw what a nutritionist does as mainly like, oh, what do I need to do to like lose weight, right? So I wanted to put myself in more challenging nutrition environments. I wanted to grow. I wanted to learn from other people. So followed her to the Village, and now we're back working at the same place, which I think is so cool. Full circle. We've joined paths once again.
So this journey started back in 2008, and is now 2017,
Here we are.
and we've come full circle.
And here we are. We're using what we love to help other people fall in love as well, right? Like if we can make other people understand that, loving yourself through all your bodily transformations, through what you're going through, you will get a lot further. And that's not always easy, right? And what does that love look like? And how do you love somebody else in a way that they need to be loved while loving yourself at the same time? What is that balance? How do I do that?
It's about loving yourself, doing things that are good for you, finding out what works best for you, changing up your mindset, your lifestyle, your dietary habits, your supplement habits into feeling as amazing as possible. We're hoping that through these videos we can share with you guys some really great tips, tricks, stories that allow you to connect with us, but also connect with yourself in order for you to feel absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and like, what does that mean? How can I, like, the fine line I think that I'm working on right now is being intentional and giving space for things to allow and happen naturally. So like, it's just like such a gray line because that changes all the time, right? Sometimes you're just like, wow, like, you know, I'm just gonna let happen. But like, is what the space you're creating for what you want to happen aligned with what you want? So like, having those questions and just like always shifting around, like, you know, where you should carry that energy, right? Where that energy should go.
What am I working on right now? I'm working on self-love, figuring out what that means to me. How can I live that daily? How can I wake up and make it my best, most productive, most positive day possible? Really figuring out how to overcome challenges and just look at life in different perspectives and allow different experiences in. This is a really great
time in our life, right?
Like, it's a very different time in our lives right now.
Yeah, and they always seem to like line up with us,
does,
which is weird. But at the same time, what I found with our friendship is that whatever the other person lacks, the other person always has.
Yeah.
Right. So it's very rare that we're both like super sad at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's very rare, which is really
rare.
funny. Which is really funny. So we're able to like give that to each other. In the same way that you would do that with your friend, with your best friend, you should be able to do that with your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit. So what takes priority right now? You know what I mean? Like, do you need to let go and like just take care of your body, or do you need to get your mind there and be like, no, I'm gonna push through and I have to get to this point, right? So that is just like, and that can only be determined by you, right? That can only be determined by you when you know what you want and like how you kind of want to get there, right? What do you want to stand for? So
join us in our videos.
Come on our journey.
Come on our journey.
So we got a lot of exciting topics coming for you guys. We have so many exciting things we want to talk to you guys about, but we're definitely open to hearing what you want us to talk about. What would best friends with nutrition think about this?
So if you guys like this video, just remember to comment, like, subscribe, share, spread the love, grow with us, let us grow with you as well. Comment in the comment box below of the videos that you'd like to see in the future. Check us out on Instagram at BFS with Nutrition. On Instagram, our personal Instagrams, mine is at Tara Mansler Nutrition, which is TaraMansler Nutrition. And we got
Michelle Tran. So my Instagram handle is Trantastic. So that's TRANTAS 1C. Till next time, guys. Looking forward to seeing you again.
Have a good one. Next Tuesday. Love you.
I wanted to roll.
You're not warmed up.